Back across my past, the mist of time, it went by fast. Things I haven't made no sense, strange things and weird events. Second guess it and give it a stir, it will bring you back to her. You will make it by living your life, some things no asking twice. My mind wanders hard on my past, so many things I just can't grasp. I feel lost, can't find my way. Looking back, I just got to say, Mr. Gumbo cooking up in my head. It's got me thinking, jumping out of my bed. Ingredients in the back of my mind, mixing up from the front to behind. I'm in the shadows, I'm trying to see the Mr. Gumbo, it's surrounding me. I'm in a place that's the oldest time. Mr. Gumbo, it's an ancient rhyme. I'm living in a mystic gumbo. I can't deny the way I go. It's got me thinking about a mystic gumbo. I'm caught up in the ebb and flow, stirring up some mystic gumbo. The pot's boiling, mystic gumbo. Mystic gumbo.
We all need a little mystic gumbo in our life, baby. Stir it up, see what happens. How y'all doing, baby? It's Tuesday. It's time for another Blue Dot family meeting. I'm glad y'all are here. Anyway, Irene Lambert, Harlan was the first one to jump in, followed by Dorothy Tyndall. Dan Hack is here, and Debbie Capran, Victoria LP82. Thank you very much, darling. Man from the West 420. Why do I like that name? I don't know, something about it. Christina Sanchez and Sam is here. Nancy Halverson, Bernadette Miller, thank you very much. Roger Himmelwright, Carl Vogel and Gordon Marble, Bunny Young. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that. Jamie B. AMW from Niagara Falls, baby, in the house. Sammy Marcy. Randy Peterson. Woo! Yeah, a little strong winds last night, buddy. Turned out to be a pretty day, though. Hope yours went well. Hallie Colquitt and Vicky Fell are here. Tom Reinhold, Amy Bowens and Linda Moses, Nancy Stevens. Damn, everybody's here. Kelly Harris. Let me jump on down here. We won't get started. Let me see, my eyesight's just, hey, it's great distance. Not so close up. Anyway, Deborah Evans is here. Old Timer 86. Outstanding. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed your holiday weekend. I hope you took a little time yesterday to remember what that holiday was about, and I did. As a matter of fact, I was lucky enough to have a conversation with an old Navy buddy of mine that known him for over 45 years, and haven't talked to him in probably over 25. So it was a good reunion, and a lot of stories back and forth, a lot of memories back and forth. Mike was one of my best friends back during those times, and it was great to hear from him and to see his face. So, Mike, if you're out there, buddy, there you go. We're still here kicking. Anyway, what else is going on? Well, a bunch of shit's going on, but before I forget and get by this, I got mail, baby. I got mail from Mr. Dan and Jody Lease from Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. Had a nice little card, 3 little birds on my doorstep, and included a nice little $20 donation in there. I appreciate that very much. Dan and Jody, I appreciate it very much. Yeah. Anyway, what else is going on? Well, shit. Our illustrious president is still out there doing his shit, getting mad at Putin, I understand. Oh, yeah. Let's see how that goes. Anyway, Let me get this show started because there's voices down there I want to hear from. Anyway, Miss Chick,
John,
how are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good.
Did you have a nice weekend? Holiday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a holiday girl, and I don't think of Memorial Day as a holiday. Not like a yeah. I think
No,
of it
it's
as a
not
Remembrance
a
Day.
Remembrance
We get
Day.
a
Yeah.
we get one day off of work, an extra day off that we can set aside to remember those that have given their lives for us. But
Yeah.
yes, I don't think of it as a holiday, so to speak.
Right.
But the United States has chosen to drink and eat everything, so everything's a holiday.
Everything's a
Um,
holiday, an excuse for a barbecue.
and
So,
we talked all about all of that stuff on Sunday, sort of. But I did have one other story I wanted to share on Sunday and didn't get a chance to. And I think maybe tonight might be a better night because I see Romans in the audience.
I
And this
see
is a
that.
Ukrainian story.
What's up?
Um, well, uh, it's a it's a piece by a journalist named, and I'm sorry if I pronounce her name wrong, Olya Bailan from
Mm-hmm.
Bucha. And it just seemed appropriate to read this during the memorial aspect of what we're doing here, and or the idea of anybody trying to tell Ukraine what to do with its borders, right?
Right.
So here it goes. The question of whether Ukraine will cede land to Russia isn't about drawing lines on a map. It's about the lives of the people who live on that land, the families and communities torn apart by the invaders' brutality. For America and European diplomats now bandying about the idea of a compromise solution, the conflict is abstract. For me, this is reality. My name is Olya. I'm a Ukrainian television reporter. Together with my family, I survived the Russian occupation of my hometown, Bucha, just west of Kyiv. Before February 2022, I could never have imagined Russian soldiers outside my house, their armored vehicles emblazoned with the infamous Z rolling down my street, the kidnappings, rapes, and murders. 11 of us crammed into a basement. We warmed our hands over candles and rationed bread. It was cold, and we slept with our shoes and jackets on. We fell asleep and woke up and fell asleep again to the terrifying sounds of explosions and gunfire. Outside, the marauding Russian occupiers were killing my friends and neighbors. They burned down my grandmother's apartment. They bombed my godfather's house. My father bravely volunteered as a partisan, passing information to the Ukrainian military to help them evict the Russians. Soldiers shot at him on at least 3 occasions. One day, he disappeared. We could not reach him. It was the longest day of my life. By some miracle, he came back. Sadly, many Ukrainians cannot say the same for their fathers. Occasionally, we dared to venture out of our shelter. We went out to assist others, to distribute aid. My professional obligations as a journalist, which continued even in wartime, also required it. I had to find a stable signal to broadcast. When I would come up from the basement, I saw bodies, cars riddled with bullet holes, houses destroyed. I worked hard to share the reality of the situation with other Ukrainians and the rest of the world, but my ability to report was often dependent on the ebb and flow of fighting in the area. I risked being shot by snipers I could not see or maimed by landmines buried beneath my feet. One day, about a week into the invasion, I set out for Bucha City Hospital. I had for I had gotten word that a Russian soldier was being treated there after being badly injured in combat. I wanted to interview him. His testimony would be an important peek behind the modern day Iron Curtain of Putin's Russia. When I found my interviewee, he was severely burned. He struggled to speak, but the words eventually came. A father of 2, he came from Komarov Oblast in Siberia, closer to Russia's borders with China and Kazakhstan than with Ukraine. The soldier told me he had reported for training not knowing that he'd be participating in an invasion of Ukraine. But as our conversation progressed, his narrative changed. Now that he was here, in my country, He insisted that he was fighting a war with NATO. Ukraine is not a member of the NATO alliance. Though Russia and Ukraine are neighbors, we exist in completely separate information ecosystems and moral universes. The next day, the soldier died. Returning home from these brief expeditions was often the most perilous part of the journey. I was entirely at the mercy of the occupiers. In one instance, my father and I asked a soldier if we could return to our home. The soldier pointed his gun at us. I knew that Russian troops were arbitrarily arresting, torturing, and murdering Ukrainian civilians. I would simply be another name on a long list of martyrs. But on that day, the soldier waved us along. That was cold comfort. Imagine having to ask a foreign army for permission to simply enter your home. Imagine coming and going from your house being a life and death proposition. A little after a month after the full-scale invasion began, the Ukrainian armed forces swept back to Bucha and expelled the Russian occupiers. Their heroic counterattack proved to the world that our nation can fight and win against the invaders. The war continues because what I experienced for just over a month remains the reality for millions of Ukrainians living under occupation behind the line of contact. Now, in foreign capitals, people who have never been to Ukraine are working to turn that front line into a permanent border. Every occupied town is a place where love once blossomed, where people dreamed about their futures. Now they are places of fear, grasping to survive. If a deal is accepted based on the current state of play in the war, roughly 6 million Ukrainians would be consigned to perpetual Russian control. 6 million people would be forced to submit to indiscriminate arrests and brutal electrical torture. Millions of men would risk involuntary conscription into the Russian army, forced to fight against their friends and loved ones. Millions of women risk harassment, abuse, and worse. Millions of children will grow up not knowing their language and national heritage. It doesn't have to be this way. We need humanitarian aid to help those worst affected by this war of terror and ensure that our nation remains viable the day after we decisively win. We Ukrainians need military support from the allies of freedom to make that goal a reality, and we need the most influential players in the international arena to reject any deal asking for major territorial concessions. Sacrificing land is one thing, but we cannot sacrifice the people living on it. Ukrainian land is not empty. It is my home and the home of so many people I love and care about. We are not asking for you to sacrifice your sons and daughters as we have, only to give us the means to protect our friends, families, and futures.
Would you
And
do
that
anything
seemed,
less?
yeah, that seemed appropriate to remember what's actively going on right now. And the people behind that line, they can't even probably take a pause to do anything in memoriam to their fallen friends, neighbors, brothers, sons. And
it does. The war in Ukraine, to me, and it's personal, it speaks to the very heart of what this country stands for. It does. The idea of a democracy of freedom, of the liberties that are guaranteed citizens. We all know that Russia attacked Ukraine, crossed that damn border, and just started taking land. Right now, we're in a situation where we have a president who, in my opinion, is a coward, who is nothing but a grifter, a draft. He's a bum. He's a bum. And I just seen where he's growing more furious with Putin. Oh, he's crazy. A little too late there, Donnie. They don't need shit like that. They needed support, and he didn't give it. And yeah, it strikes deep to hear words like that know that they're fighting for the same thing we would fight for, and we have fought for.
well, and the frustrating part for me and for many of us blue dots in particular, I'm going to speak for a group of people, is that we would definitely want to be giving Ukraine all of that aid.
We
But
would.
we are just the citizens. We don't have the checkbook. We don't have any control over it. And the person who is in control, or people that are in control, are saying no right now.
And their
And it's
motives are questionable.
frustrating.
It
But
is.
they're also saying no to a lot of other places that really need help too. And we're watching that horror be unleashed everywhere.
There's no shortage
But anyway,
of fronts in this
Yeah.
war with him.
Roman
You know,
is here if you want to ask him to come up and speak to us.
I will. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll bring Mitch up here in just a minute if he's hanging there. Hello, Roman.
Hello, John. Hello,
How are you doing?
Hi, Roman.
I'm alright. We had a brutal attack in our country a few days ago, but luckily it was not my city, so... I just want to thank Mr. Chick for bringing up this and reading the story, because thanks for keeping it sound media, and I'm pretty sure, because if not the American public, Trump would have already done all Russia wanted to. We'll be under the bus already, not the American people on the streets and keeping the finger on the pulse on our situation. So, thank you again very much for being a compassionate people.
I think, I don't think there's any doubt that America's heart is with the Ukrainian people. We have a government right now, a president that is a sellout to Putin and trying to kiss his butt constantly, and hasn't stood up for the values of this country. And that hurts all of us. And it does. It just, especially in times like this, that it strikes deep that we can't stand up for the ideals that we always have. The world is changing, and not for the better. But if we don't get our shit together, if we don't stand up, not only as a country but as a world, there ain't much hope for shit.
Yeah, just want to say, like, the first time when I appeared, like I was saying that we're getting closer to the critical point with the Biden aid package, that we run out of them. And I want to say that what my guys tell me, that the guys are actually fighting in the trenches, and they report to me that already the shell shortages are coming. Like, they get a limited amount of shells per day. They say they can stretch the situation till the middle of summer. Like not using the full requirement mission.
In the suffering over there right now, I swear we can lay it right at the feet of Donald Trump, because he's been withholding aid for a while, withholding support for a while. And
yeah, he paused it. He put a pause on the supplies, but he resumed it.
Totally.
Because of American people. Yeah. And it's just like Biden's packages, and we need much more. We need a new one. I'm sorry,
Right
I'm
now,
being a beggar, but I have no choice but to appeal to the American people. We depend on you on 100%.
And our voices need to be in this, because it is.
I just posted a link to the official u24gov.ua. It's a direct donation site directly to Ukrainian.
Directly to Ukrainian. Yeah, that's U24. Is that it?
u24.gov.ua.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way we can directly help. But the help that we can give is a drop in the bucket to what they need. And only
but every drop counts, John.
Every drop counts.
Every drop counts. Yeah. But John is right as well. American public cannot buy us tanks. We understand that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we can provide food and medical gear. We can provide a lot, but we can't provide the one thing that they need, and that is the weapons to push Putin all the way back across that damn border. I've agreed with that. Not one damn inch, not 1 inch. You give him anything in this damn war, he wins, and he's going to come back.
Absolutely.
Yes, and NATO, along with the European Union and the United States, we have the power to push his ass all the way back, to embarrass the hell out of him, to make him look weak, like he is. We already see that the help he's getting from North Korea and other bullshit places.
Iran.
Iran. That he can't stand on his own. He can't stand on his own. He's got help. Ukraine needs help. And the cowardness of Donald Trump and his desire to I don't know, crawl up Putin's leg. He came out the other day calling him crazy and he's gone too far. Well, do something. Do something, but he ain't. It's all bullshit. It's all words. It's nothing with Donnie. He's not going to do anything.
And speaking of help, just want to say, bring it up again, just to try to wave the Fox News propaganda and other propaganda. We don't care about money. We care only about weapons, because this situation is beyond the money, right? We want American government to supply us with the heavy equipment, with the heavy weapons. I'm not trying to say that we do not appreciate. We appreciate every dollar, every cent.
I'm sure.
Thank you for that. Yeah,
but the money part of it doesn't go anywhere. That's what is so ridiculous, that we have the ability to give weapons and material to Ukraine. That comes from the United States arms sales. Private companies that make tanks and bombs and shit. The money stays right here. We give them the supplies we have. We get new supplies. It keeps the industrial military complex running.
Right.
Yes.
This is what have that.
Yeah. Well, let me grab Mitch up here. Mitch is, I'm sure, got something to say. Anyway, let me thank Joseph Martinez, who came in with a $10 donation and says, Proverbs 10:17, whoever heeds instruction is on the path to life, but he who ignores reproof goes astray. Donald Trump ignoring the intelligence community. He's ignoring everything. The intelligence community, the people, the shit. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. Hello, Mitch.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, brother?
Oh, doing okay. Trying to get my dinner ready, but wanted to jump in and say hello. See what's what.
Oh, there's a comment in here. Sue Warrior just said, I just want to let Roman know that we fly two flags, the Ukrainian and the we the people are pissed off. They fly together. And also on that note, I know some other blue dots that fly the Ukrainian flag every day at their house.
This is outstanding. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's really touching. It's pleasant, very pleasant to hear and see.
You have a lot of support in this country, Roman. The Ukrainian people do.
I feel it.
Just, we have a government right now that, it's for sale. So it's not about integrity or honor or freedom or democracy.
I wish Zelensky could have gifted Trump this $400 million, another jet, from Ukraine.
Yeah, right.
Indeed. Anyway. So,
yeah, if you got a checkbook, you can just write large numbers and zeros. You can get all sorts of stuff.
Oh, not a problem. Access, baby. That's what that gets you. But how's Julie, Mitch?
She's okay. She's right here.
Good. Oh, hi, Julie.
Hey, John.
What's going on?
Same old stuff, a different day, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Every day we get closer to throwing that bastard out on his ass.
Well, I like to
I
think
hope
so. Right now, I'm looking at what the Senate's going to do with his big bullshit bill. That crap, I don't think they're going to pass it as it's written.
Hope not.
Yeah, let's hope not. Because as we learned the other day, there's a lot of shit in there.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look at there. I want to thank Thomas L., who came in with a 50 Danish krone donation and said it won't be long before Europe declares war on Russia and Putin. This is gonna. Yeah.
It's coming to that.
It's going to expand if it continues, and we have the power. We have the power to just go all in and support Ukraine in every way possible, and the EU steps up like it is. Then yeah, and I understand they just got permission, I guess, to start using long-range missiles into Russia. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, they're talking about it. I only wish we had actually those long-range tools to apply at Russia.
Yes,
I'm not sure we cannot have anything
start
because
dropping a few missiles inside Moscow, like they're dropping them into Kyiv.
I wish there was a better solution
Yeah,
Yeah,
than to
we all do.
kill Russian people, because you may think that every Russian wants Putin to be in charge and wants this war, but I don't believe that for a second.
Just like not every American wants Trump to be president. Yep. Ooh.
Therein lies the.
We're talking about real people here, not just abstract, like he tried to tell you. It's not abstract. There are real people getting hurt.
With what he's been unleashing into Ukraine here lately, it just the heaviest bombing and missile strikes since the war started. So Putin's going after the civilian population.
Since Russia started it.
Yes. Since Russia
attacked. He actually has his followers convinced that it was an act of aggression by Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what
he has them convinced.
Well, now, as I remember it, he came out and Putin came out and said it was to get the Nazis out of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nazification, he calls it.
Yeah. That was the original intent.
When this invasion first happened, there were many.
To Nazify a country with a Jewish president.
Yeah. What was that, Sally? Julie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sally, who's Sally?
I was thinking of David and Sally. I'm sorry.
News stories about, they can't hear me?
They can hear you.
Oh, about Russian adults living in the United States trying to tell their families in Russia what was going on, and they didn't believe it.
Oh, right. Because of the propaganda machine that's
we can
heavily propagandized people in the world.
We can speak about propaganda. The propaganda would have been working in the world like 70 years ago before the internet and access to the free information. But I'm sorry, like this war is already going for 11 years. Anybody who wanted to find out the truth in Russia could have already done that.
If they wanted,
Well,
it's been too long. It's just been too long. And like, compare American public and Russian public. When the war erupted, we saw massive protests. I mean, I saw in the media people rallying up with Ukrainian flags in America, in Texas, and all around the country. What happened in Russia? Literally nothing. And it's going on for 3 years. And their beloved president threatens Europe with a nuclear strike in response to Sweden and Finland joining NATO. Nobody on the streets still. It feels like we are in Ukraine fighting for the Russians' better future. For them.
Yes. I would agree with that. They just don't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had plenty of time to understand, to find out what's going on. And he's in power for 26 years.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Trump wants.
But that propaganda runs real deep, too, and it escalates when they really need it to.
I didn't, we didn't have so many pro-Russian Americans in this country until we had a pro-Russian president.
Right.
The maggots. They'll go wherever he goes. They could give a shit less. They're not interested in a country or nationality or nothing. They're just a Trumper. That's it. Wherever he goes, they're going to go. And there's nothing we can do about those people. It's the conservatives that have a half a mind left, that realize what he's doing, that we have hope that they're gonna turn their back on him.
I hope that they get scared enough where they snap out of their stupor, and let us not forget the equivalent people in the Democratic Party who are in their stupor, thinking that we can win the same way we lost to George Bush and the same way we lost to Trump because we were lazy. Honestly.
No. You're right. The Democratic Party does have a problem. And
Yeah.
we can't ignore it.
Your average person is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's a big problem too.
Huge
That's
problem.
that's a good part of it. That's a good part of it. People have
It
been,
is.
you know,
People are openly encouraged not to think for themselves.
why would they bother with that? Why would they bother thinking for themselves if everything's laid out for them? They ain't got to worry about it.
Of our education system, honestly, it really, really is. Something has really changed. I went to public school. I graduated from a public high school, and we were not openly discouraged not to think for ourselves.
Well, contrary.
No.
I was not.
Quite the contrary, yes.
I was.
And that's the problem. That's the problem they have with us.
Something has changed. Because I got to tell you, I raised 3 kids who were raised to think for themselves. They had a lot of issues in public school. It was a problem.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with one of my oldest son's teachers in which I had to explain to her that her opinion didn't mean a whole lot to my son. He respected her. He wasn't rude to her, but he didn't care what she thought of him. And she's like, and he was about 7 at the time. And she's like, oh, young children don't think like that. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
They do.
He doesn't care what you think. He's not going to do what you want necessarily. You're going to have to make it appealing. I'm sorry, honey. You're going to have to do your job and make learning fun. I know that's your job, but isn't it strange how they don't remember?
I think it's more complicated than that. Yeah. They've made the profession of teaching really difficult now, and there's a lot of people steering away from it. Either not going into teaching or they're actually running from it. They're leaving it early.
Totally
it's not a career path to be financially secure.
Especially after
all of this education, and they don't pay them.
No, they don't. And they blame everything on them. It's all their fault if their kids have problems.
Yep.
If someone required me to have a master's degree, I would be required to receive at least 100,000 American dollars in return every year.
Yeah.
And teachers don't even come close to that.
Not close. Not close.
I'm talking starting. Master's degree. My sister is a physical therapist. She has a master's degree. She makes over $100,000 a year. That's fair. Good exchange. She had to take loans. No regrets.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to be a teacher, and that was one of the reasons.
Yeah. It does take about 12 years now to become a physical therapist.
Well, yeah, it was a little different when she went through, but I don't think it's 12. Is it 12?
I think it is. My daughter looked at that program and went, I don't know if I want to go that long, Mom.
Are you okay? Because my sister, she didn't start out wanting to be a physical therapist, but I think she went in total 6 years.
Yeah. She might have, she probably went through before that changed. It was starting to change around 2000.
An undergraduate degree. She was a dietitian, and then she went back to school.
Yeah. All good stuff. All good stuff.
Sorry, we're off subject. I apologize.
That's what we do here.
That's what we do. We change the subject anytime it comes up, baby. Speaking of which, let's see. Let's get Sammy up here. He's had his hand up for a while.
I did find out who to credit that thing that I read the other night.
Did you?
I did.
I was reading that a little while before.
About the big ugly bill.
Yeah.
The The
Yeah, and
poster
what's in it?
goes by Prue Prue, Prupru on Facebook. Prue Prue.
Prue Prue.
Prue
It's a good
Prue.
writing. Very
It
informative.
is good writing. I do
Yeah.
believe she's from Atlanta, maybe? Trying to remember. Remember there being an A in it. If it was Alabama or Atlanta. Which one was mentioned? Somewhere down around there. But yeah, she's got some good stuff. Check her out on Facebook.
Outstanding. Yeah, that was an excellent piece she wrote. Sammy, are you with us? Sammy 66?
Gotta unmute.
Yeah, you're muted up. Your mic is muted up. Oh, well, we'll see if they...
Here we go. There we go.
There you go. There you go. How you
You know,
doing?
The one thing that just mystified me is, especially with Ukraine, it's like that was, I mean, and I'm speaking in a real big picture here because I understand the struggles and all that shit, but that was the easiest foreign policy win to get a democracy back on its feet that we've ever had. I mean, you know, I don't know if we even pulled anything off in Korea. We basically left it like it was. Vietnam was a shit show. You know what I mean? This is like all we had to do.
This was
say,
an opportunity to make that line in the sand.
But this wasn't even Russia's on their heels. They got nothing. They have no money. They have no.
They got
you
shit.
know, I mean,
They're grasping. If it wasn't for North Korea and all that, they in Iran, they'd be.
They only have the quantity advantage over us. It's like 1 versus 5, 1 versus 7 ratio of soldiers. It's
If
the
you're
only
putting
thing.
North Korean troops in the fight, yeah, Russia's got problems, big problems.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, and you're right, Sam. This it was an opportunity to not to stand up for democracy and at the same time give Putin a goddamn good lesson that Russia is not as strong.
We've been trying to do that forever, and all of a sudden the opportunity's right there, fucking in front of you.
You know, I had a slim hope of when there was perestroika. Perestroika, is that what we called it? When
Perestroika, yeah.
Yeah, perestroika. Who was that? Gorbachev?
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that didn't last. And Putin, you know, he's just he wants it all. He wants to re-implement the USSR. He's going to go after the satellite states up there in the north. Poland's got things to worry about. You know.
Yeah, Baltic states.
All of that, the Baltic states. All of that could be just cut out at the root if we'd stand up for Ukraine. If Ukraine would be able to push Russia all the way back into Russian territory and embarrass the shit out of them. Maybe that would encourage the Russian people to stand up.
I don't know, John, actually, what is going to encourage them to stand up. He has given them already so many reasons to. The prices for potatoes in Russia tripled for the past year. It's still not enough for Russians to stand up.
Because there's still the fear of you're going to end up
this
in
is why
somewhere.
But you know, it's been 26 years, and I don't know.
What's that now?
Enough is enough sometimes. This is why the perestroika did not last that long. They are very different people from you. They're much more. This is actually why also they managed to maintain, but I was bringing up often, but I'll bring it up again. Think about it. Despite all the damage that we inflicted on them, nearly 1 million of casualties, they still managed to conscript 40,000 people per month and maintain this occupational garrison in our lands. You can't write it off simply to propaganda or to, I don't know, them fearing some arrest in Gulag. It's Russians being Russians. Russia's been this way for centuries now. Also, do not forget that they started the World War II together with Hitler when they divided the Poland in 2 parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a dangerous road that that we're being led down. And I say being led because, again, we have a president that's not going to do anything, who's a coward.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting him at this point to, what they say, just throw up his hands and walk away and just say, well, it's not our battle. That's what he said before. I'm thinking that's what he's going to do.
I don't think
he's going to do.
I don't think he is a coward or he's afraid of Putin. He's sympathizer. Like, he's Putin's student. You're not afraid of your mentor.
Yeah, well, you bring up a good point. Yeah.
Well, the
that's why I
banter
keep
back and
saying,
forth is usually just a game, I think.
yeah,
They just play
it's a
this
word
little
salad.
game. Yep.
There's been no definitive action taken. It's all been just a conversation. And we're going to see now that Donnie, on the tarmac yesterday, standing up there calling him crazy, and he's done went too far, and he's playing with fire, and all sorts of little metaphors there. Is he going to do anything? Is the question. I don't think so. I
don't think so, unless he is made by the Senate or the Congress.
Well,
they gave it up.
Outstanding. Let me thank Joseph Martinez, who came back in with another $10. Said, I wrote to the Texas senators and the federal government, Ted Cruz and John Cornyn, to vote no on the big, beautiful bill. Hopefully Texas remembers how they voted and vote Democrat. Oh, out of your mouth. I have no faith in Ted Cruz whatsoever. John Cornyn, maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot. But thank you, Joseph, for using your voice. That's it. If you want to write to your congressman, your senator, your governor, your mayor, that's a good place to go. USA.gov/elected-officials. It will give you the name, address, phone number of everybody from the president all the way down to your local mayor and city staff and stuff. So it's a great place to get an address. And yeah, thank you, Joseph, for doing that, buddy. We all need to. There is so much that that's on the line. It's almost overwhelming, it is. Because in every direction, it doesn't matter whether it's international relations, whether it's domestic policy, whether it's financial outlook, and it's all in turmoil. Everything that he's come in, he's kicked over every garbage can he can find, put lackeys in charge of every department. He flip-flops every 5 minutes on everything. We're going to have, all those tariffs on the EU, 50% tariffs on the EU. All of a sudden, again, he backs off, said, we're going to delay it. The market responded, it went up today. But what's it going to do tomorrow when he pulls something else out of his ass and changes his mind again? And that's the way it is with everything that he's doing on the international stage, on the national stage. It's all mumbo jumbo. It's all just up in the air. Just keep everything juggling and wait to see where it all falls.
But at the same time, China's out there taking over the world with trade. They're talking to France, Germany.
Oh,
They're filling in the void. What the heck?
Exactly. They're going to fill the void. They're going to find buyers for their products.
I mean, Liberation Day was liberation for China to get the fuck away from Trump.
Yeah,
that too.
That's probably where they went with it too. It's man, boy howdy shit. That's all I got in my head right now. Just boy howdy shit, because it is. My head is just all full of just.
But you're right, John. It does feel like the raccoons are destroying the neighborhood the night before garbage pickup. You got all the cans out there, and they're just rooting around in them. Oh, boy,
throwing it all over the damn place. Everything. And now he's got a hard-on for Harvard and anybody else of either an educational institute or private law firm or whatever. You piss him off, he's coming after you.
Well, it could be specifically because maybe his son didn't get into Harvard. I don't know. Who knows? You know how he takes things personally.
Yes, he does. He takes things personal like that. And whatever petty argument he has with him, look at what he's doing to destroy not only Harvard, which the United States benefits greatly from the research that Harvard, commits to. and now all of a sudden we're going to pull funding for all of that because we don't need those cures for anything or anything like that, because we have a glorious leader, and I'm sure, Donnie could just wave his hand.
Meantime, every time he says yay or nay, either support or don't support anything, the stock market does what it does, exactly what he wants it to do. Whee! Up
and down. It's been,
pretty predictable whenever he opens his mouth.
It is, and it benefits those with money.
Those that know what he's going to say when he opens his mouth.
That's right. If you know what the market's going to respond to, then you can put your money in or out at any given time and make a bunch of money. That's not the
part that gets me, because I don't do stock market, but the part that gets me is, it was in the red, it was in the red, it was in the red. He says something and it starts to creep green. Whoa, look at that. We gained 400 points.
Yeah.
But who gained 400 points?
Yeah.
Who now holds those?
Yeah. Because in the grand scheme of things. Indeed. Those that with the money and power to be able to play that game. That's not us, baby. That's not us. So. He's losing his mind. Jerry Spencer says Trump is losing his mind. That's why he's thinking the way he is now. I wish he'd hurry up and go all the way off the edge, buddy. I do.
They're bringing that bullshit up with Biden, and it's like, dude, he's not the president right now.
Yeah, they're going to reopen investigation into that cocaine, so they could try to rake.
Well, do they all have dementia and not remember that they propped up Ronnie Reagan because he was early Alzheimer's? Do they not remember?
Oh, they short-term memory.
Well, FDR was the same way. We've had presidents that went off the rails and their wives took over more than once. I mean, it's like,
oh yeah.
Of course, Melania is not capable, but
oh Lord, please, just don't let that. Yeah.
Actually, she probably is capable, but you don't want her to.
I'm probably more capable than he is. Probably. I'm just saying she probably has better training from Russia. She's hardly even seen. Hey, let me thank Brenda's Blue Eyes, who came in with a $20 donation. Brenda's Blue Eyes, thank you very much, baby. I appreciate that tremendously. It's, yeah. Boy, howdy shit.
Boy, howdy shit.
Boy, howdy shit. Yeah,
I tell you what. You need to make a shirt of that.
Boy, I think we do.
I think there is a boy howdy shirt.
I think there's a boy howdy shit somewhere in there. I'm looking at my thing to see. No, I don't have a store button. A button that says, I don't have that. I got a letters button.
I want to shoot.
You know why? Because I got mail. I appreciate it.
Sunshine.
Anyway. So, what else is going on in the world that we can complain about?
Are you depressed about?
Oh, Lord. Yeah. It's
well, we can talk about what we should be doing, and that is protesting by gummy. The No Kings, June 14th, and not in D.C.
Not in D.C.
Don't go to D.C. Not in D.C.
Kings
Everywhere else.
Protest, June 14th.
But not in D.C.
Yeah. We don't want to be there on that day.
But we also have other things going on. In D.C. there is the Veterans Protest on June 6th. That's 6th. Coming up sooner. And I have some deets on that.
Do.
Yeah, I do. June 6th, there is a group it'll be led by Cliff Cash. You've heard of Cliff Cash?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Some comedian.
Well, he's going to meet on the front steps of the Capitol building on June 6th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and do a little talking and messaging. And after that, they are going to disperse and try to meet with every congressperson they can.
Outstanding.
In the hallways or wherever they can go. They're going to try and meet with people. At 2 p.m. is when the rally at the mall is. That's when the Veterans Rally protest is at the mall. 2 p.m. And the Dropkick Murphys will be there, I heard. Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
every Democratic congressman should be there.
I hope they will be. We'll find out.
Absolutely.
Yep. And on June 7th, the next day, Saturday at noon, there will be some protesting at Fox News at 400 North Capitol Street Southwest. And then maybe they might march a third of a mile down the road to CNN also. We'll see. We'll do a little protesting there. Sunday, June 8th, they're going to protest in front of the Heritage Foundation at 214 Mass Avenue Northeast. It didn't have a time listed, so I'm not sure on that. And then on June 9th, Monday, more congressional office visits, 9 to 11 a.m. And they might go back to the Heritage Foundation at 3 p.m. So they're hanging out for a few days. They're just going to start to take over D.C. a little bit. Make some noise. Make good trouble.
We need to make good
Hopefully.
trouble. We need to be in the
Make
streets.
good
We need
trouble.
to have our voices loud. I swear.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else Donnie's been doing?
What?
He's been
Well, trying
pardoning
to go.
people. He's been pardoning people.
Oh, he has. For
Yes,
money.
he's-
Got $1 million?
that's
He
some
might get a pardon.
Yeah, if you're a big Trump supporter, baby, you can. Doesn't matter what you do. Rape, murder, not a problem, baby. Ex-sheriff, bribery, not a problem. You know, ain't it sad?
Is it the first time in your history when the White House is being monetized in this in this
that's-
active way?
You know, the freaking irony of this shit is that we went through 4 years during the whole Joe Biden presidency of having Donald Trump in the freaking news every damn day, accusing the Biden administration of all sorts of bullshit. And the whole, yeah, all of it. And he's the weaponization of the Department of Justice. Are you shitting me? What's this man doing now if it's not obvious that he has weaponized the Department of Justice against his personal fucking enemies? It screams, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the Democrats that are moving the goddamn goalposts or the Republicans, because, I mean, Nixon was gone in a goddamn second when they found out about it. You know what I mean?
wish we lived in the days of Nixon.
Nixon's like, we're just going to keep moving the goalposts. Pretty soon this fucker is going to, I don't know what he's going to do, but we're going to
As bad as Nixon was, at least we had a Congress that would stand up and do the right thing. We don't have that now. We've got a Republican Party that has completely capitulated every amount of power they have to this wannabe king. The test really is in this bill that's in front of the Senate now. Because it's not a pretty bill, baby.
Aside from all the goddamn corruption that's blatantly just, oh my God. Frustrating to watch. It really is.
It is. It's damn near impossible to keep up with every day if you're supposed to be in the news and know what's going on, and there's so much shit coming from every which way. It's damn well overwhelming, and that's by design. That's Trump's way of doing shit. Just keep throwing shit at the wall constantly. Something's gonna stick, and that's what they're counting on. Right now, they've got so many damn cases in front of the courts. Right now, he's going to the Supreme Court right now to try to get his deportation to any other country in the world. Sudan, I think, is where he's targeting now. Though he just wants to take people off the streets of the United States and deport them to Sudan. It's a bizarro world.
You think Sudan don't have no problems?
He just wants to round people up and get them off the streets to make him look like he's doing his great job on immigration. What he's done is destroy this country for immigration. Think people want to come here? Shit. Tourism is way down. People don't want to come here to visit. There's a fucking nut job in the White House.
No, these airlines. these airlines aren't even flying into the United States anymore.
Yeah, because as a tourist you can
Yeah.
find
Right, they're
yourself
going
in El Salvador at 20 meters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we're not the shining city on the hill anymore. You know,
In
It's,
120 days.
indeed, we're barely into this shit. Yeah, Doug. Nixon was my first mistake, buddy. That's where I learned my lesson as far as politics goes, was under Richard M. Nixon. And yeah, I learned that lesson then and never looked back again. So
yeah, and he wasn't much, really. Didn't take much to take him down. I can't believe this shit.
with all the evidence that we have on him, with all the bullshit that he's done,
It's the most blatant shit I've ever seen in my life. And I text my goddamn Congress email,
everything from his
and I
little his Bitcoin or his cryptocurrency thing the other day was nothing but it just a grift. It's
well, even Mike Johnson says, well, at least he's doing it out in the open.
I don't even understand how
makes
he's
it better?
accepting that half
That's
of
what he
India
thinks.
luxury golden jet is not enough Congress to act. Is not enough motivation for Congress to do against something.
right
I've
now,
never
I
seen
think
such
all eyes
presence
are
in
looking at
history.
Congress.
Well, he owns the Congress at this point. They all kneel to him. Well, the majority of them kneel to him.
The
I should
majority
say.
of them kneel to
They
him.
have the majority,
But I
which is
think,
why
you know,
we can't get anything.
they're starting to get a little pushback in their own districts because, like we keep saying, this bullshit that Donnie's doing doesn't only affect the public on a political divide. It's going to hit Republicans and Democrats equally, and that's what you're going to
I
see.
still say they pick straws on that, John. It's like, here, it's your turn to look like you're decent this week.
Well, I'm talking about when prices start getting bad, when
Oh,
there's
Josh
a
Hawley's
shortage.
freaking out. I mean, Josh Hawley in Missouri is completely freaking out. I mean, he's hardcore Trumper, but he's like, my state relies on Medicaid, Medicare.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Medicaid is going to take a big hit.
Oh,
You
big
know.
time, big time. I mean,
they're-
snap.
people are worried about their shit.
Hell yeah.
And again, I don't think
that's-
Josh Hawley cares, but he's trying to keep his seat, so he's trying to make it look good. He's probably
I see where Tommy Tuberville says
Up
he's
in
going to get out
26.
of the Senate. He's going to run for governor of Alabama.
I saw that. I did
Yeah.
see that.
Go, Tommy. Get the fuck
Good
out
for
of the
him.
Senate, you dumbass.
Just go fuck your state up. Leave the goddamn
Tommy
United
Tuberville,
States alone.
tub of shit. That's a prime example of a state that the only reason he was elected was because he was a great football coach for Alabama. That's it. Oh, he's a great football coach. He doesn't know shit about politics or legislation or anything else. He's a dumbass when it comes to everything else except football. But yet, sort of like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Bobart.
Except they're
Yes.
They're elected on emotion, not on qualifications or their ability to perform the job. It's just they play this nasty game. They can get the Republican vote if they just get out there and say bad things all over the place about the other side. Make shit up, pull shit out of your ass like Donnie does. That's their only chance, just to convince people of bullshit. Yeah, car insurance went from $350 to yeah, I see that, baby. Yeah, little things that hit us all over the place. Let's see who else we can pick up down here. Let's see. Father Goose has had his hand up for a while. Let's poke on him for a little while. Oh, look, hello, Father Goose.
It helps if I turn my mic on.
Yeah,
A little bit.
depends on what you got to
A little
say,
bit.
brother.
Yeah, well, I would just like to say hello and hi to everybody listening, and I'm glad to see you're here, Roman. You're still with us, and that's
Glad to see you too. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, we
I've
appreciate
been
that
hearing
voice.
some shit.
You've been
I've
hearing
been
some
hearing
shit?
some shit. Yeah, like, well, I mean,
What
you
kind
know,
of
I
shit
watched
you been hearing?
what, the shit that they are doing the what is that? Bill has cuts for like $500 billion in Medicaid and SNAP and shit. Like
Well, you know, that's all
that.
that fraud, waste, and abuse. That's what that is.
Well, absolutely, but I mean, like that is absolutely devastating. I don't.
It's gonna be.
I don't know. I don't know about everybody here, but I don't know many billionaires. You know, I know a lot of people.
I think a
on
lot of
Medicaid.
a lot of us are older. I can see that on my demographics, on my analytics, on my show. Most of us are older, and yeah, it's gonna hit a lot of our blue dots. Just cutting.
I mean,
Medicaid.
if not you personally, somebody fucking know that maybe you care about. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And then that happens in my own household here, because as far
Yep.
as I am concerned, I'm retired military, retired government, and so my health insurance is through Federal Employees Health Benefit Plan, so I get a better deal, like everybody should get. Plus, I have my Medicare and whatnot, so I'm you know, sort of comfortable as long as nothing major happens. But my son, you know, my two boys, they're you know, this is hitting them bad. You know, the amount that my son has to pay for his medication every month, it damn near takes everything he makes at his job. You know, instead of getting the whole 30-day prescription, he has to go in there and get like a week at a time, and maybe sometimes only 4 days at a time, because that's all he can afford. Yeah,
That's not even fucking. That's not even right. That's
No.
not even right.
No.
That's not
No.
right.
that, as a matter of fact, the prescription he just picked up was for 4 days, so that covers the 4 days before his next payday, so he can afford it. And it's a common blood. It's Eliquis, what it is, whatever. It's for to keep your blood thin. He had a blood clot.
Oh,
so
blood
it's a-
thinners. Yeah. I have high blood pressure, so I have to have my high blood pressure medication. Otherwise, life sucks. I will tell you that. Like
his
before,
prescription is
before I
$600
don't-
and something a month. What the
That
fuck?
is insane.
That's insane.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
that's
He has to
like-
get his prescription filled 4 days at a time because that's all he can afford.
That's almost an apartment every that's almost the cost of just living. Like
Yeah.
not quite. I mean, an apartment might be like 800 or 900, but I mean, for that price, you could almost just pay for an apartment for a while and let them mow your grass.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
Texas,
ridiculous.
I don't know how much grass you have, but you know.
I've said it for a long time. I can't afford to save my own goddamn life, and that sucks. You know?
If I take one medication, I take my blood pressure medicine every day. If the doctors had their choice, I would be taking probably about 7 pills a day. I don't. I just, you know, I'm that way.
Yeah,
That's
mine
it.
has
No.
mine has been getting whittled down as time has gone on. So I mean, I'm getting better at least. So I'm down to just the 2.
You know,
One was
I'm
not
s-
good for my kidney or whatever. I don't know.
My,
The
my
doctor
biggest
knows
problem
stuff. I
is
just
I
not in
smoke
agree to
cigarettes.
take my-
And I am having a serious. And by the way, if anybody's paying attention, this cigarette I see me, that's about the 3rd time I've lit that thing. So, don't think John just sitting over here lighting cigarettes left and right. I'm consciously trying to eat more because of my weight, and I've got to quit smoking and cigarettes.
Cigarettes. I quit
Cigarettes,
smoking
yeah.
cigarettes to start vaping, and then
Yeah,
when I
can't
had
vape.
my accident, I had my stroke. I quit nicotine because I didn't crave it. So I mean, I quit the hard way. Don't quit the hard way. But I don't think I would have quit otherwise. if I'm being 100% honest, like nicotine had such a vice on my existence that I mean I still
I've
kind
been
of
smoking
miss.
cigarettes, the same brand of cigarettes, since I was about 14 years old. Marlboro, just that's it. I think Marlboro owes me a whole bunch of money.
That's what took my mom's cigarettes. Fucking she had steel PD, and it was a long, slow death, and I did not enjoy watching her go through that shit. It was terrible. But
I'm familiar. Hey, let me send out a couple of thank yous to Lady Cranks-a-Lot. Lady Cranks-a-Lot and Tea and Rants came in with $10 Canadian, said cheers all from Timmins, Canada here. Outstanding. I love our international office. And Carol DeBurs came in with $10, said give it up for the nicest mod ever, our own Mr. Chick, the absolute best. Indeed.
Here.
We owe her. I owe her so much. Y'all don't know how much I rely on her.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah. Especially here lately, I've not been on top of my game. Just a lot of shit you have to deal with.
We also have the best greeter in the world.
We do. Mark, our Blue Dot greeter, who welcomes just about everybody into the room. This is a combined effort by a lot of people to get this out every day. Yeah, it is, and I couldn't do it without the help of these people. I swear. Especially here lately, I've not been on top of my game, and I'm trying to change that too. Trying to snap myself back into reality and get my shit together. And
one thing at a time, John. Take it easy.
One thing at a time. But anyway, DJ.
Yes, John.
How have you been, brother? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's just 2024 and first part of 2025. A lot of different things went on, and excuse me, I've got a cold now. That's why I sound like I've got a bass voice, and I don't. Really.
No, you sound fine.
Not when I cough like that. No, I apologize. Excuse me. No, I have been doing my TikTok stuff. I've been doing StubHub, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube. And so I've still been doing things like that, putting up videos. But I do want to brag a little bit. Can I brag a little bit?
Knock yourself out.
My daughter, who graduated with her bachelor's degree in criminology and psychology, has gone on, and she just graduated last Sunday, summa cum laude, which is a straight 4.0 average.
Outstanding.
In cyber and software cybersecurity.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
And
excellent.
That software cybersecurity, those jobs start out. She's working for a company, and she's not making what she should yet because I guess she's getting experience. But they offer anywhere from $150,000 to $220,000 or $230,000 a year for a good person who knows cybersecurity. So I'm hoping
it's going to be a field that's going to be increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In my day, we had right to work, and when we had right to work, they could walk in and tell me I was gone the next, that day.
You're right to work, right to get
they
fired.
could bring me back. I could be making $90,000 a year, and then they could lay me off and then bring me back and give me $60,000. I had to take it because I didn't have anything else.
Right.
They pulled all kinds of shit back in the 80s and 90s on people like me who were working in the software industry. But Mr. Chick, you probably already know this, but the two main people who are in jail for the plot to assassinate Whitmer,
yes,
they are considering the government. By they, I mean Trump's pardon team are considering pardoning those two assholes.
I did hear something about that the other day.
Yeah, I read the article.
Are we
what was all that
surprised?
bullshit
No.
about law and order and all that shit that he's,
Yeah.
that he's the law and order president?
It should have
Yeah,
been
no.
a him in jail for that, but yeah.
Well, I hope karma kicks every single person that he's pardoned, which is over 1,500 people. I hope karma comes around and kicks them all in the ass, one way or
You
another.
would hope so. You would hope so. I don't know.
They deserve it.
Might take a while.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know, Roman, he's muted, but Roman, I have two shirts
Yeah, I'm
that I
here.
wear. Yeah, I have two shirts that I wear. One says I stand with Ukraine, and the other one just has the emblem that's on the Ukraine flag on it. And I wear those. And I also used to fly the Ukraine flag, but where I live, the wind is so powerful it tore it up. So I got to get another one and put it up. Because
I
it
wear
just
my
shredded
Ukraine
it.
sunfire shirt quite often.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Like I said, thank
and
you very
John
much.
and Carolyn, I don't think there's a day goes by they don't fly the Ukrainian flag outside their house.
Yeah, I
It's-
did it until the wind kind of destroyed it, and I
Yeah.
took it down. I've got to buy another one and put it up there. But
if you look at the American people, I think the American people are 100% behind Ukraine. It is just the guy in our house right now who's being a dick that's screwing everything up.
Yeah, I want to give a big
And we need
a
him
lot
to
of
do
people
something.
are ignorant.
to Boston Brian for heading to Ukraine. I mean, he's heading over there now to deliver aid. He's a little freaked out about it, but I give him a lot of credit for doing that.
Well, there's a lot of people in the United States who don't know what the Ukraine flag means. I've had people walk by my house and say, "What is that flag for?" And I had to explain it to them. We have an ignorant public in this country. Not just the maggots, but even other people are ignorant about world affairs. They don't know what's going on.
Being fair, like nobody knew about our country like 10 years ago. When I was passing some jobs interview, I've been telling the story and I'll tell it again. Was passing some job interview for an American company. I also work in the IT field. And one of the HR girls asked me, like, where are you from? And I said, Ukraine. Now she's like, oh, very nice. So where is it in Russia? Yeah. So, we've been alone in the Russian orbit. So
I'm a survivor of the Cold War. I grew up when it was the USSR under Nikita Khrushchev. And Nikita Khrushchev said, he took his shoe off and he beat on the what do you call it, the podium, and said, "We will kill you. We will kill you.
We will bury
you." And he's talking to the United States. And I lived through the days of duck and cover when I was in school, like in the third grade or something. They'd make you crawl under your desk and cover your head, which is basically lean over and kiss your ass goodbye.
Basically what we learned later on in life is, that wasn't going to work. So.
That's not going to work, no. But the USSR is, you were right, John, when you said that he wants to reconstitute the USSR. He absolutely does.
That's exactly what
he
wants.
It's Russian Empire, whatever you call it. Russian Federation, USSR, is Russian Empire. It was and will be and cease.
Yeah, it used to be the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. But that was what split up.
It's just a decoy. It's just a decoy.
I'm trying to find a segue into it, but I've got a lot of people in the chat requesting something.
Yep, they're screaming for it.
They are screaming for it. And I can't find a better way to segue into it than to just say it. Donnie and the Republicans, whatever, your neighbor, your big fat fucking neighbor who runs his mouth all the time, they all just need to.
I just need you to shut the fuck
up. Okay.
Nobody asked you, bitch. I need you to
Gotta
shut
get it
the
in.
fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Just shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Bow, bow. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Bow, bow. Shut the fuck up.
See my foot's tapping. Man, we're going to do it again. Just because my foot's tapping. Swing party, dance party, in your chair.
I need you to shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Just shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Bow, bow. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow. Shut the fuck up.
Keep that in your mind. Put that song in your head next time you see Donnie. Just play it in your head. Shut the fuck up, you asshole. It's nothing but babbling words anyway. That's another
You
thing.
know,
If anybody that listens to him, and we do, all of us do, every time he gets in front of a microphone, if he goes off script, if he's not reading something, it's all a bunch of babbling bullshit. It means nothing. It's innuendos and slogans or whatever the fuck he pulls out of his ass, but it
can't
means
answer a
nothing.
question, Don.
No.
He can't answer a question. He never is able to give a direct answer to any question that he's asked. He always goes off on a tangent, or he changes the subject so that he doesn't answer that question.
So he doesn't have to answer the question. Especially if he's uncomfortable with the question, he's going to change the subject and end up in Tata land somewhere. You know, it's so obvious to everybody. But
Or
yet,
just tell the journalists that you shouldn't be here asking these questions.
what's that?
Well, that's what he says to the reporters. Yeah, he says he tells the reporters. I saw one video where he told the reporter, "Oh, you're a terrible reporter. You shouldn't be asking that question."
Oh, he does that all the
and
time.
blah, blah.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
fake
he's-
news anyway. You're fake news.
Yeah,
You know, or some
exactly.
shit like that. Yeah, if he doesn't like the question, he'll attack the person that asked the question
That's right.
to deflect from
he has two
answering the fucking
things.
question.
He attacks or he plays the victim. Those are his two major things. And you know why Trump is the way he is? I think I figured him out. I know he's a sociopath, but we're not going to go there. In the industry
of
that
shit.
I spent 35 years in, the software industry, one of the things that you do is you do project planning. Okay, you have a project plan, you put it in place. Okay, and you follow the steps and the milestones in the project plan. And Trump is going out and shooting from the hip and hitting everything, you know, going here, going there. I mean, he's got no plan as to what he really is going to do. He's just going out there, but he may be fooling us. He may be just doing organized chaos. But if he's not doing organized chaos, his lack of planning is what's causing all this. And
I think it's
his
a
thing
combination
with
of
the
the
stock
two.
market is, and in the stock market, it's pump and dump for his rich buddies. Pump and dump. He says
That's
something, the
exactly
market
what's
goes
been
down, they
going on.
buy, and then when it comes back up, they sell.
A controlled chaos, they call it, is what Russians like to do. He has a plan, so he's sticking to the plan. I'm just looking from my perspective.
Yeah,
He's been faithful to Russia for the 4 months already.
The plan is chaos.
I'm really into chaos, and if anybody anybody who would like to read, I'll tell you, James Glick, Chaos: The Making of a New Science is a great book to read. It is written so that you don't have to be a scientist to understand chaos and how it works. And I read that book years ago, and I have followed his teachings over the years. And even the mathematics of it is not that bad. It's nonlinear mathematics. Chaos is nonlinear. And we all have seen those fractals, right? The fractals are a result of nonlinear mathematics, chaos. Those nice little pictures that they post on the internet, they call them fractals. Those are all due to chaos. Snowflakes are due to chaos. The book just covers everything. And the thing about it is that you can apply all those principles to political science, to sociology, to psychology. It works in just about every science you can think of. Chaos is there somehow. And Trump seems to be a master at either invoking chaos by accident or directly controlling the chaos and invoking it. I don't know which.
I think it might be a little bit of both.
So much chaos.
Some of it is planned, and some of it is just what he pulls out of his ass at any given moment.
It's like a Captain Jack Sparrow of hate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just kind of wings it.
He sells. That's his biggest product. His biggest motivator is fear and hate. That's what Trump has sold since the time he came down that escalator. His speech that very same day, it gave him hate and fear.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy on TikTok who posts videos every day, and he says, "Oh, sorry, Trump's still alive."
Yeah. Sorry to let you know. Today ain't
Thought
the
I'd
day.
let
No
everybody
bolt
know.
of lightning yet. Hey, let me thank Mom Deb, who came in with a $10 donation and said, and here you go, baby. Here's wise words. Visit your local representative's office. Deliver a letter and try to speak with whomever is there. Call your reps and senators. Tell your local media to report truth. Fight Trump fatigue. That's a big one. Trump fatigue. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
swear,
that's one of the
sometimes I
reasons
get it
I was-
myself. It's just I'm tired of his fucking name. I'm tired of looking at every day, looking at what he's doing to try to get shit in my head. And it will wear on your ass.
I have
so,
a
yeah,
bad case,
yeah.
a bad case of it.
It's been doing this 8.5 years, whatever it is. I've been doing this, and that's every day of turning on the news and delving into him. And
You know that picture of Obama that he took down, that was the portrait of Obama that was in the White House and Trump had
Yes.
it taken down?
Yeah.
I posted that with the 15-second video of that with the Star Spangled Banner playing in the background. And in 2 weeks, it's gotten 13,000 views.
Outstanding.
And everybody loves Obama. There's a few who hate him, but everybody loved Obama.
Obama was the he was the light
I'm not sure.
in my eyes.
Yeah, he was very well liked. He
along.
didn't accomplish.
Yeah. I had
everything.
the greatest hopes for America under Obama.
Yep.
But Obama is what brought us Trump.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that, but still, people still love him, even though he is the reason where we're at.
He did a lot for this country, but he also what happened is the maggots came out from underneath their rocks. The racist assholes all around the country came out. They formed the Tea Party, and we all know the history of that shit. And what we call the maggot party today, or Republicans.
The maggots.
It's up to the Republicans to chase that shit out of their party. That's the responsibility doesn't lie with us to clean up our house. They have to clean up that shit stain over there. And until they do that,
they all eat shit sandwiches,
every day.
Every day.
I
told Donald Trump, hey, I saved your reputation the other day. Somebody said that you like to eat shit sandwiches, and I told him you don't like bread.
You don't like bread. Yeah, don't like bread. Eat all that ass he can, though. Hey, LB came in with I'm going to call it the way it is. LB came in with $1.11. Thank you very much, LB. I appreciate the shit out of that. I really do. Boy, howdy. That just I always like to caveat that. I appreciate every donation, no matter what it is. I appreciate every one of them the same. And, thank you,
Well,
LB.
I'll tell you what,
that.
John. You were talking about medication earlier. I have just started on Part D Medicare because my wife retired, so I no longer have her commercial insurance plan to get my medication. I went to Walgreens about a week ago for my Entresto heart meds, and it was, I don't know, $1,263.
Oh.
And that's more than my house payment. And so I have Part D, right? And I have a Part D through Cigna. It's called Cigna Saver RX plan. Well, that only paid $500 of it. I had to fork out the rest of it in cash on my debit card right there to get my meds. Yeah, it's over $600 that night I paid for my meds.
I had the conversation in the car with my son today.
Yeah.
We don't have health care in this country. What we have in this country is profit care. That's what we have. Now, did you hear Donnie put an executive order out that drug prices are coming down 85%? You see that happening?
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen. He got no control over that whatsoever. It's just bullshit he throws to his little maggots to think, oh, look at there, he's bringing... No, Bubba, when you go to get your medicine, it's still going to cost you more. And it is sad. My son ended up in the emergency room, big old swelled up leg, blood clot and all that shit. You wouldn't believe the bills he's getting now.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous. You know, and
They,
it ruins people.
last time I went to the emergency room, it was $7,000, and that
Yeah.
was with insurance. I was able to. I only had to pay 250 of it, but it was over $7,000.
I just gotta say, a wise person once said that a MAGA will shit their pants just to make you smell it. Just
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that. They'll crawl up Donnie's ass for a sandwich too. Hey, Mickle came in with a $1.25 donation. Mickle, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Shit. Yeah, shit
Well,
sandwiches
that's why
are a
those
daily
ladies walk
thing
that way.
nowadays. That's all he puts out.
Well, that's why they walk bow-legged, because they got a load back there.
Yeah. I don't
No.
know. I live around a whole lot of them, and every day with the news, I do. I shake my head and I just wonder, when are you going to come to your senses? What is it going to take?
Well, here's the story, John, that you may or may not have read about.
What?
You know who Midas Touch is, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And they put out a story about the truckers. 80% of the long haul truckers, and this is an actual fact that they put out. 80% of long haul truckers voted for Trump. And you know what's happening now?
Yep.
These long haul truckers are going to their ports to pick up their loads, and there's nothing there. But here's how it works. The ship that's coming in has containers on it, but if that ship doesn't have enough containers for that port, they can bypass it and go to the next port.
Yep.
So they have trucks waiting for those containers on the ship, but the ships decide to bypass it and go to the next port. So a lot of these truckers are not getting their containers that they're waiting for. And I just read, and I didn't read the name, but one of the major trucking companies just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Yes. And we all remember seeing that, truckers for Trump, blocking the highways and all that shit, pulling into D.C. and all that crap. Yeah, they're going to be one of the industries that are going to be hit hard with this tariff.
Oh yeah,
shit.
they already are.
They already are. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That his policies are going to affect both Democrat and Republicans alike. You know.
Yeah.
And for our side, we're going to sit there and go, "We told you so. We tried to point it out to you." I don't know what the other side.
He was telling it himself. He was promising it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well,
he
they
promised
were
everything. The war in Ukraine was going to be over before he even took office. You know, eggs were going to be down. They were going to be paying you to take eggs. Is what they, whatever. It was everything was bullshit.
The ports on the West Coast, which are China, a lot of China cargo comes in. Right. They're empty. There's very few containers in any of those ports right now. They're just empty.
China's shipping them to other countries.
Right.
China has the ability to absorb this a lot more than the United States has. We import a lot from China
Trump
and
doesn't
around the world.
understand that China owns the United States as far as debt. We've borrowed so much money from China. We are like,
if they called in their debt, we'd be in a bad position.
Yeah, we don't have enough precious metals to pay them back for what we owe them.
What our debt is to China.
Just they've eaten our lunch. And
we can't bring Chinese manufacturing to the United States. You just can't do it unless you're willing to pay a whole lot more for them blue jeans. Yeah.
Yeah. Offshoring in the 80s and 90s was not the people; it was the companies. And they wanted to get a product out at a cheaper price. Well, now the whole thing has changed. The culture is we are no longer a manufacturing country.
Well, it's a global economy nowadays.
Country.
But if it's not a complete product being built in one place, it's parts of products.
Right.
And we rely on that.
We are not going to bring back any of those factories because that's not what we do anymore.
Right.
Okay. So those factories are never coming back. I don't care what Trump says. They're not coming back. No way you can force them. In fact, in China, there was a funny thing. It's not China. Did you read the headline where Canada offered to put a missile shield over the United States if we'd pay them for it? It was on Raw Story. There was a headline in Raw Story about that.
Boy, howdy shit. Man from 420, what do you mean it's almost time? Bullshit. It's past time. Hey, I guess we're going to wrap it up for the evening. I want to thank everybody for coming in and enjoying the conversation this evening. Roman, especially, we appreciate you coming in. Come back anytime you want, brother. We're always going to be here. And again, how come every time you come on, I always want to apologize for the shithead of a president we have? It's like, I'm sorry, brother. We're doing the best we can over here. But
I just want to say one thing, each time you get a fatigue, you get charged for Trump. Take it as your motivation to contact your representative, your senator, and actually call them to do something about it.
Do something. That's indeed.
It's my, I understand it's not my business to stick my nose into your internal stuff.
I called my.
I think it's highly appropriate.
It's very critical for us here. Very critical. Yeah, thank you, John, for having me. It's always my pleasure, and
we enjoy you coming in, brother. We appreciate it. Come back anytime. And DJ.
Yeah.
Nice to hear your voice again. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
You too. I enjoyed being here tonight. I may come back more frequently now. I'm trying to pull myself out of this, as you say, this Trump depression I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm just bad case of the red ass for Trump, and I just gotta get
right
over
there
it
with you, brother. I'm having a difficult time every day. Everybody knows why. And
I just can't believe it every time I read the news. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, when I get out of here, I'm going to turn on the Discovery Channel and see what their, National Geographic Channel or something. I do. I try to purge my mind in the evenings nowadays because I just got too much on my mind. Anyway, DJ, thank you for coming by, brother. Take care of yourself. And again, keep using your voice, brother. Keep using it. We need it.
You take care. And, sometime when I do a live show on StubHub, I would love to have you come on and be a guest.
Hey, let me know. Let me know. I'll be there.
I will let you know.
Outstanding.
All right, have a good one.
DJ, take care of yourself. And Sammy.
Yo, brother.
I appreciate you coming in.
No, dude, it's a real honor to be here. I mean, it really is.
I wouldn't call it an honor. I'd just say.
I just appreciate at least hearing the truth, from people.
We're a pretty good family here for that. We came in here and we talk our shit,
It's awesome. It's awesome. So anyway, thank you, brother. Thank you, Mr. Chick. Thank you, Father Goose. Thank you, DJ. Hey, DJ, I would love to hear where your social media is at as well.
It's you just search for @JCTHEHIPPIE. It's the same on all of the media. I use the same handle.
DJ Mosley 2226.
Well, no, it's if you go on the media, you may find my name by DJ Mosley. But what you'll do is if you just search put @ in the search followed by JC the hippie, all one string, you'll find me. It's that way on Blue Sky. It's that way on YouTube. It's that way on.
Thank you for kicking me in the head because I knew that. For some reason, my mind went back. JC the hippie. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So if you want me, that's it with an @ in front of it. TikTok especially. I've got thousands of videos out on TikTok now. I can't believe how many I put out there.
DJ's been using his voice for a long time.
Yeah,
and not giving up the fight, brother.
John, you've got millions of followers, but what happened to me is I looked back a year, and one of my videos that I didn't even think was that great got like 36,000 views in that year, and I looked at it and went, "My God."
Yeah, if you don't go look, they'll mount up. Yeah, we've got we've got some that have really gone over the top. So we're lucky.
Yeah, Midas Touch is like a half a million.
Yeah, Midas Touch. I can't even touch the hem of them. I highly recommend them. I highly recommend them. Anyway,
I read it every day.
There you go, Father Goose.
Oh, hello. Yep, indeed.
Appreciate you coming in, brother.
Oh yeah, it's always a pleasure, and yeah, it's nice to hear from everybody, and I really just gotta say, hold your loved ones and fucking,
Indeed.
fucking hope for a better tomorrow. That's all we can do is
Fight for a better
hold your
tomorrow,
loved
baby.
ones, hold your loved ones close. That's
That's
the best anybody can do, really.
It's what we all need to do. Hold them tight, baby. Anyway, Father
Indeed.
Goose, thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
Miss Chick.
Yes, John.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun.
It was
There was a
fun.
lot of people in tonight.
Got anybody you want to, or anything you want to put out tonight that we should know
Well,
about?
I already called out the protests, so
Right.
I did that. I didn't look up the voting stuff. There's always something somewhere for people to vote on in your state or some state. A lot of it right now is local, and local is important. Everything starts at the local level.
Everything starts at the local level. What affects you is at local level. So
Yeah.
always pay attention to it.
And run for something at a local level.
You know if there's voting anywhere around you because it's usually all over the TV or radio or some shit. So you know there must be something happening. So be informed. Check it out. And not everything is on the presidential level. Everything happens at just right on down the line, baby. So your
Right.
voice is needed in all of it. So yeah, pay attention. Anyway,
There.
got anybody
Anyway.
else you want to call out?
I do. There were some people that liked our shit, John.
They like our shit.
Again.
I can't
Again,
believe
they
like our
still
shit.
like our shit. I
They
don't know
still
about
like our
these
shit.
people.
And we're on the air, and they might have liked it tonight.
They might have liked it. We'll find out maybe tomorrow.
There you go.
But anyways, Sue C. from Florida and Scott J. from Indiana,
And,
Terry H. from Georgia, Amber B. from Oregon, Brenda H. from Ohio, and Bill M. from Pennsylvania all liked this shit.
that's amazing. I love it when they like this shit.
I do
I hope
too.
you like this shit. I hope everybody likes this shit. Because we put on the best shit we can. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming by. We had a good showing tonight in the chat down there. I love it. So
Yeah,
keep that shit
very
up.
active.
Very active the chat. Yeah, it was flying by tonight. I did catch several of them going by, but it's hard to. Yeah, John can't read and think at the same time. So, two things. Anyway, it's only Tuesday, baby. No telling what kind of shit's going to happen tomorrow, and by the time we come back here on Thursday, it's going to be a whole new ball game, I'm sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
until then, do the best you can. Remember to contact your and before we go, I want to thank Rick, who just came in with a $20 donation. Rick, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Do what you can every day. Talk to your friends. Write to your congressman. Pay attention to the news. Be ready when we need you. And yeah. And out of all of that, always, always, always find a reason to smile tomorrow and give that shit away to somebody else. They need it. You need it. And make you feel better. Anyway, until Thursday night, until we see you again, have the best possible time you can have. And love you all. Good night, Miss Chick.